That's right, Akuma may in fact be rejoining Tekken.
You actually heard that right. Akuma might be coming back to Tekken. Now before we start talking about it, I just want to give all the credit to MadMike, okay? I'm using sections of his video and to Dance, of course, that found the evidence in game, because at the end of the day, I wanted to show that they did it. I didn't want to use my own clips or stuff from my own gameplay because it would feel like stealing content in some way. So go ahead and give support to MadMike and DenZH, incredible content creators. They found it, not me. I just want to talk about it. So in summary, what happened is that DenZH found on the game files a move related to Akuma. And he found his classic like teleport, and this was present also on Tekken 7. And the thing with this is that you can even use it with other characters because you can program it, I guess, or what in whatever way you do it, since a guy like DenZH knows how to work with that. But we don't know if this is a confirmation that Akuma will be back, but it is a pretty strong sign. Like, it would be pretty weird to code the movement and specific moves for a character if they are not gonna come back, especially with a move like that, because that's not the kind of move that you can just use for another character as fill. Because for example, you could record, I don't know, like a specific punch of Akuma and put it on another character and it wouldn't be that much of a problem. But why do we have Akuma's iconic teleport on Tekken if he's not coming back? So the chances of him coming back to Tekken are pretty high. And this is where the discussion starts. Like, a lot of people in Tekken, including MadMike, he says it on his video, they don't want Akuma back because they don't want 2D characters on Tekken, because they could be a problem in terms of balancing, which was a problem on Tekken 7 and stuff. And I completely understand that. Like, this video is not, you know, to put bad words around people that don't want Akuma back. It's just to talk about the idea of Akuma being back. And for me, as a fighting game fan, more than a Tekken fan, because I love many fighting game franchises, not only Tekken, it is almost insane to say that I don't want Akuma. Like, Akuma is one of the top 3 most iconic like fighting game characters of all time. He's badass. He's always been like super strong in all the games that he's present. It's a part of his identity, and he's just like connected to the pop culture of fighting games in a way. He's like a Mickey Mouse representation of fighting games, like Ryu, Ken, and other Street Fighter characters, or like Jin. You know, they are like these big brand characters. And there is a reason why they are that, because they have been like good design decisions over the years. And Akuma is just such a legendary character, and it's like so cool, so fun to play, that I really don't understand why you wouldn't want him, aside from the potential balance problem. For me, balancing is not a good enough reason to not put a character like Akuma on a fighting game. Like, he is so iconic that he deserves a spot in any fighting game, if you ask me. You know, like, as a fighting game fan in general, I would put Akuma on any game. I would put Jin on any game. You know, I would put Ryu or Ken on any game. Chun-Li. I would put Heihachi or Kazuya on any game, because they are the faces of the fighting game history. So for me, they deserve to be in any game. It doesn't matter if it's not their franchise or something that one could see as awkward because they don't fit the gameplay necessarily super well. Like, you can always adapt it, you know. And on Tekken 7, I know that Akuma was an incredibly strong character, but I really think that, you know, fighting Akuma on Tekken 7 and thinking, oh, this guy is so annoying, I don't want him in the game back, is not enough reason to actually not have him. If we follow that logic, there would be like no fighting game characters. There's almost no good fighting game character that is not annoying to fight, or that it doesn't feel like relatively strong. You know, there are of course like low tier characters that a lot of times feel weak, but they sometimes feel even more annoying than stronger characters. And if we follow this route, of like saying this character is too strong or doesn't fit the game necessarily like super well, quote unquote, like half of the Tekken roster will have to be gone. Like, why is Alisa on Tekken 8 if we don't want Akuma? They are equally stupid if we use that logic. And fighting games have always had, you know, like balancing problems. It is not something new. Balancing problems are a thing since the 90s, and they were a lot worse before. Like, fighting games now are very balanced, actually. They are great. You can play almost any character. On Tekken 8, for example, you can play a low tier character, and they are not bad. They are like decent. They are not super strong, you know, or they don't feel overpowered. But they are not bad characters. You can win against anyone with a low tier character on Tekken 8 because they are not really low tier. They are low tier in the context of the power levels of the game. but in terms of design, they are still pretty strong. Like, if you put Lydia on any other fighting game, she would be a top 10 character. It's just that in Tekken 8, she's not, you know what I mean? So, Akuma and the balancing issue that he has connected to his identity on Tekken 7, to me, it is not a good enough reason to not have him, especially because he is, you know, in the podium or like in the top 3 of most iconic fighting game characters of all time. The other thing that is super interesting is that aside, you know, from these moves that they found related to Akuma in the game that they showed in their video, and again, thanks to MadMike and DenZH for showing this content, you know, credits to them. Again, it is not my video or my content, I just wanted to discuss about it. The thing is that a person put a comment related to Tekken's lore or history, and they say that on Tekken 8 story recap, they talk about Akuma, they mention him by name. So it seems like Akuma is kind of like integrated or has been like connected to Tekken lore or like a definitive way. It's not like he's just a guest, you know. It seems like he's a Tekken and a Street Fighter character at the same time now, and it's like different timelines or whatever you want to call it. So I feel like there's a lot of chances for Akuma to be back on Tekken, because it's not only that you have concrete evidence like the moves, you also have these connections with the story. And again, I know that a lot of people don't want Akuma back, but I also know that a lot of people that want Akuma back are not posting about it on social media, sorry. So there is a huge mass of people that would love to have Akuma back on Tekken 8 because they love either in like multiple fighting games, or maybe they're a casual player and they just think that Akuma is cool and that's it, you know. So I do believe that the amount of people that don't want Akuma in the game is not necessarily that big. It's just that maybe they have been more vocal about it, and that's completely fine. You know, as I said, this video is not about crushing that opinion. It's just to talk about it in a civilized way. So I just wanted to put my opinion out there, you know, and basically put the other side of the coin, you know, in the content reality of YouTube, and let people know that some people do want Akuma back. And personally, I want it, and I know that a lot more people would love to have Akuma back on the game. So if you enjoy fighting game content, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing. Again, it helps the channel a lot. Props to MadMike and DenZH again. It's their thing, you know, they found it. Thanks a lot for the video actually, and I hope that, you know, MadMike doesn't get mad if he finds this video. So see you on the next one, guys, and hopefully we get Akuma back.